Hello everyone, this is Clay. Good morning. You have to forgive me, I'm not all here today. I got up this morning trying to fix me a cup of coffee and I couldn't find any in the pantry or any of my other cabinets, and I said, I'm out of coffee. Oh well. Anyway, first thing I want to do is I'm going to announce today, just finished the remake of Finger Pistols of Dangerous from episode 1. Got it uploaded to YouTube. I set it as a premiere to start this Sunday on the 31st, which is Halloween night at 5 p.m. And I live in Houston, Texas, so um, yeah, that way you'll know what uh, my time is over here. Anyway, when I was creating the set and I showed videos of it, people were like, subscribers was like, I love the lighting. You need to make a tutorial. So, okay, all right, I'll make a tutorial. And this is what I'm here for. Okay, I'm just going to do the lighting. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how I set it up. And once I show you, you should be able to do the same thing for all your other sets, especially if you're doing an indoor, which maybe I'll do another tutorial on indoor lighting uh, some other day. But right now, we're just going to concentrate on outside. All right. As you can see, I have a blank world in Muvizu, and this is the one I usually see a lot of people use. They'll create their environment, but they don't add much. They don't add a lighting. The only lighting I see they add is point lights. You got to have a sunlight, which is directional light. You got to have that. So if you're starting off from scratch like this is important. So just watch what I do, and hopefully you will create a perfect environment the way I do in a lot of my videos. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to create a ground. We're going to click on Edit Environment, and we'll click on the ground texture. Now, you can use a color if you want, it's up to you, or you can use the textures that come with Muvizu. But me, I am going to import my own texture. And this is where I got everything for uh, Finger Pistol. So there is my ground. I got a good sand ground there. Okay, now we're going to create the sky. And again, you can use color if you want, or the default texture if you want. Excuse me. But I'm going to use the texture that I use in Finger Pistol. So now we got our ground and our sky. Okay, so got that set up. Now, in the ambient light, we're going to set up our color and our brightness. So in the lower color, let's select this blue right here. Okay, and in the upper color, we're going to select the same color. Now you've noticed everything got dark blue. Well, kind of, yeah. But don't worry, that's going to be fixed. We're gonna make that go away. Okay. Now we got our colors for our ambient light. We're going to set the brightness. So on the lower brightness, I like to set it to 7.9. Now you can adjust this the way just to tinker with it and adjust it the way you want it, the way you like the brightness to be. That's up to you. So me, I am going to choose 7.9, right? So I got the 7.9 for the lower, I'm sorry, low, yeah, the lower brightness, I'm sorry. So yeah, and I am going to do for the same thing for the upper brightness. I'm going to again use 7.9. Like I said, you can just tinker with it the way you want it. So now it's gotten darker. Don't panic, it's okay. We're going to fix that. All right, now for the so for the sky illumination, we're going to set it 73.8. So I'm going to go through do that, and I'm going to set it to 73.8. Again, you can adjust it the way you want it, but that's the way I do it. Now you see the sky is brightened up a little. Well, a lot. So that's the way we want it. For the ground illumination, we're not going to touch it. We're going to leave it 0. Okay, now for shadow, we're going to click it from simple to realistic. All right, now we got the shadow ambient in place. Now we just need to adjust the brightness. So for the ambient shadow, we're going to leave it at 25.0. And for the shadow sharpness, we're going to adjust it to 40.0. So we'll do 40.0. Yeah. Okay. Now, over here in shading, well, I'm sorry. Over here in ambient occlusion, we're going to leave the ambient occlusion unchecked. We're not going to mess with that at all. We're going to leave that alone. Now, here in shading, we got two different kinds. We have the normal shading, which we have now, and we have the tune shading. But if you use the tune shading and click on it, it's going to take a little bit to reset itself, and everything will be in tune mode. But when you use that tune mode, there's one type of model format, 3D model format that you can use. It's if you use OBJ, even though if you brighten it up, whatever, it's going to still be dark, black. You won't see the textures, and it's just going to be a black, dark figure or object. Same way with FBX. So the only one that it actually works with is ASE. So just remember that. But we're not going to mess with that. We're going to leave it normal. Uh, Depends on what type of video you want to make. So anyway, we're going to leave that alone. Now we have our ambient lights into place for our environment. Next thing we need to do is create our directional, our sunlight. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to go to create, and we're going to go to lights, and we're going to create a directional light. Okay, now we got our directional light, right? And let's just move it up a little bit higher. Okay. Now we're going to right click and go to edit. And we're going to go to properties. We're going to open up that. We're going to open up both of them. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to select a good color for our sunlight. And we know the sun is orange. So we're going to find we're going to create like a bright colored orange. And I'm going to go over that color right there, which the color settings for R is 255, G 243, and B 214. Those are the color settings for the sunlight. Now, for the brightness, like again, you can adjust it the way you want it. Me, I found that 68.1 is the best lighting setting for the brightness. 68.1. So, okay. Now I got my lighting, I got my ambient lighting the way I want it. Yeah. So, in the sunlight the way I want it. Now, to better help me uh, out with my lighting and my shading is I like to add a character in there. So I'm going to find Marshall Leroy, put Marshall Leroy in there. Let them load up. Okay, there he is. So we'll move him right there. Sorry about that. Notification. Okay, so we got him in there. Now, to help me with the shadows, I'm going to add an object, which I'm going to use something like a tree or something. So let's find a pine tree. I'm going to use a pine tree. Load it up. Okay, there. Now let's put that pine tree to where he is standing underneath that behind that tree and into the shadow of the tree. Now, you notice how dark Leroy is? It's like he's at nighttime. Nighttime during the day, what it looks like. That's because that shadow is too dark. Now, if we click on the tree and we try to adjust the lighting, which is the shadowing, we unclick it, they'll just make the shadow go away. We don't want that. We want to keep the shadow of the tree. But if we adjust the shadow base, only thing it does is shrink the shadow down to where it will go away. So we're not going to mess with that. So how are we going to fix it? Well, I'll tell you how. Okay, I like to create something that I call a shadow light. So I'm going to create another light and I'm going to use a point light. Okay, now you can see that that's already looking better. Okay, well, let's put it there. But we don't want the light to cast another shadow. So we don't want a shadow in a shadow because that don't, unless, there's another light. But we don't want it like that. So I'm going to click on the light, right click and go to edit. I'm going to open up both properties. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down the brightness. So, and then the distance. Don't want it too much. Let's bring the brightness up a little bit. You can adjust it to where it looks just right to you. Okay, now to compare first thing we need to do, that light is casting a shadow behind him. So he's already in the shadow of that tree. Well, let's turn off the shadow for that point light. So that light won't cast another shadow. Okay. And another thing too is, since this is a shadow light, which I'm going to rename that, I'm going to rename that shadow light. So that way we'll know. You can name it shadow light 1, 2. If you're going to have a lot of shadow lights where all your shadows are, it's best to number them so that way you'll know, anyway. So we got that. Now let me show you the difference between being under the shadow of the tree that we just made with the shadow light and not in the shadow of the tree. So see, now you can see the difference. Now we got a good shadow for that tree. Okay. Now let's bring in something else. Let's see. Favorite. What do I got? Let's bring in the farmhouse. We'll do a farmhouse. Farmhouse is kind of big. So turn it around. So the farmhouse in the shadow. So, whoops. Let's bring Marshall Leroy over. Let's do this. We'll put them underneath there. Okay. So we don't have to create another line. All we have to do is just copy it, paste it. Like so. Anyway, that's how I do it. And I hope you was following along. I hope you was able to understand how I do my lighting. Okay, this is for the outside. Just remember, whenever you got your shadowing and some of your shadows look too dark and you notice how dark the character is underneath that shadow, make you a shadow light and put it in that area. Adjust the distance the way you think feels right, and the brightness for each one. Okay, creating your light and shadows how you want it is up to you. I'm just showing you my method on how I do it, and this is how I do it. This is the way uh, all of my sets look in my videos and my shadowing and all that. Well, next time I'll make another tutorial on shadows in the lighting and shadowing inside a building, like a house or yeah, I'll show you interior lighting and shadow. So anyway, until then, I hope everyone has a safe Halloween and a blessed day, and I'll talk to you